Hey guys, welcome back to another video with Lim Reviews. So in today's video, you're going to be comparing the Mi Band 6 here with the Huawei Band 6. So this video is going to be a very direct and straightforward video. So just sit back, relax, and let's see what I have to share with you guys. If you want more information, you can go to my individual videos for both the Mi Band 6 or the Huawei Band 6 right here. Because in this video, it's going to be very quick, straight to the point kind of stuff. So without further ado, let's begin. Alright, first up, let's talk a bit about the price. So the Mi Band 6 here is going for about RM169 here in Malaysia. And this guy right here, the Huawei Band 6 is going for about 219 ringgit here in Malaysia. So if you're in other regions of the world, this is basically about 40 US dollars, whereas this is about 50 US dollars. So in between, it's just $10 difference that you need to know of. Next thing we're going to talk about is the display. So obviously, we can see here that the Huawei Band has a larger display than the Mi Band 6. And I must tell you that the larger display definitely helps a lot in viewing your stuff. So first up, you just take a look at the time right here. It is so much more clearer and very straight to the point with the Huawei Band 6 right here. On the Mi Band 6, it has a slightly larger display compared to the previous version, but side by side with the Huawei Band 6, it is just no fight at all. So hopefully in the Mi Band 7, we will have a larger display for that. Okay, next thing we want to talk about here is the watch faces that you can store in the bands itself. So in terms of the Mi Band 6 right here, we can only store 6 watch faces. So you have 3 default ones that you can store in it, and also 3 custom ones that you can choose from the app itself. So that's on the Mi Band 6. The Huawei Band 6 on the other hand here is a different ball game altogether. We can store up to 25 different watch faces on this Huawei Band 6 itself. So again, this is just a massive win by the Huawei Band because there's just so many watch faces that you can store on the Huawei Band 6 here. One more thing to note here is that the watch faces for the Mi Band, they are a bit cartoonish. Obviously, there are some that might actually suit your needs, but I kind of prefer the set of watch faces that are actually available for the Huawei Band right here. The reason for that is because all their watch faces are very straight to the point. I get to see my time very clearly as well as other information very clearly on the Huawei Band 6. So I would personally prefer the watch faces design on the Huawei Band 6. Alright, next point I was going to talk about, we talk about comfort levels. Okay, so on the Mi Band 6 right here, you have these straps which are silicone straps obviously, and you might be very familiar with this already if you're coming from a previous Mi Band. One thing I need to note here is that the straps here are a little bit more firmer compared to the Huawei Band 6, but personally I kind of like the bands on the Huawei Band 6 because the way you wear it is similar to a watch. So you just slot it in right here, just like how you do so on a watch, whereas on the Mi Band 6, you got to put this in and press the button. So again, it's not a major big issue right there. I just kind of prefer the ones on the Huawei Band 6. And just to note, the straps here are also a little bit more softer. So they're a bit more comfortable and fits around your wrist more tightly in a way. So definitely in terms of comfort levels and how it fits around your wrist, the ones on the Huawei Band 6 here are a little bit better. All right, let me pause for a while. Let me get a breath. Okay, next thing we're going to talk about here is the notifications. Notifications are very important in your smart devices right here, and definitely the more information you can see on your band, that's a better thing right there. So I have my notification right here in terms of the, let's do a quick comparison right here. The amount of text is similar for both devices right here, and this is what you can get for both devices. So bear in mind that on the Mi Band 6, you can also see the entire message, plus you do have emojis supported here. So for those of you who really want to see your emojis, the Mi Band 6 is the only way to go because the Huawei Band 6 does not support emojis at all. But just by reading this, please tell me which one you actually find easier to read. Me personally, I will go with the Huawei Band 6 again, obviously because it has a larger display so you can see and read it easier on the Huawei Band 6 compared to this where you have to keep going down and scrolling all the way to the bottom right there. So in terms of notifications, I would say that the win I would give would be to the Huawei Band 6 because I can see more text, and personally I don't use that much emojis, but if you need emojis, Mi Band 6 is the way to go. Alright, next thing we want to talk about here is the amount of health items that they track. So both devices here obviously can track your heart rate, all-day heart rate monitoring. That's not a problem for both devices right here. Apart from that, it also tracks your stress, and it tracks your sleep and your sleep breathing quality. So in terms of which is more accurate, okay guys, in terms of the heart rate first, let's talk about that first. I have cross-checked the heart rate tracking with this and my blood pressure monitor, and it's actually about the same reading. So very accurate heart rate readings on both devices right here, provided you wear your smart bands correctly and tightly on your wrist itself. The next thing I want to talk here about is the sleep tracking. So both devices here track sleep a bit differently. I did have a higher score on the Huawei Band 6 compared to the Mi Band 6 right here, but personally I can't really tell how accurate they are because I don't know the actual time I'm having dreams at night. So both of these track your REM, your light sleep and your deep sleep, but what I can say here is that both devices are pretty similar in terms of the final score that they give you for your sleep quality. So that's one thing that you need to know. The next thing you need to know here is that both devices here also track your naps, but the one on the Huawei Band 6 is a little bit more accurate because it tracks your naps regardless of the amount of time you sleep. Whereas for the Mi Band 6, you have to cross a certain threshold for it to actually register as a nap itself. So if you do a lot of naps, I'm not sure if you do, the Huawei Band 6 here might do a better, more accurate job. Alright, next thing we want to talk about here is the amount of activities that both devices here track. So activities wise, like I said, I've already gone through the entire list in my full video, which you can find on my feed. But in terms of activities here, to get into this, you have to go into the menus itself and go into workout. So right here, we have about 30 different activities ranging from your runs, your cycling, your swimming, and more activities. Whereas on the Huawei Band 6 right here, we do have 96 different activities, which also consist the same ones that the Mi Band 6 does, and a few additional stuff like, basketball and badminton and all sorts of stuff. So the bottom line here is both devices here do not have GPS, so you can't track your pace or your distance. You will need to do that with your smartphone with you. So both devices do not have GPS. And the second thing to note here is that although both devices have a lot of activities, but the other activities, the items that is only tracked is probably your heart rate as well as, let me just show it to you very quickly. Alright, so for the remaining other activities, what it really tracks here is your heart rate, the amount of time and your calories, and that's pretty much it. So although the Huawei Band here has a larger number of activities tracked compared to the Mi Band 6, I wouldn't really say it is a major win by the Huawei Band right here, because it is just kind of cheating to put so many activities, but it only tracks the same list of items right here. So just bear that in mind. And yeah, let me just quit that right here and go back to the main menu right there. Okay, so that's your activities for you. Next thing we want to talk about here is the battery life. So both devices here are advertised to be able to last about 14 days or 2 weeks, but based on my use, I would say the more logical number is about 8 to 9 days, and maximum I've stretched it is about 10 days. This obviously depends on how much notifications you receive on a daily basis, as well as how often you track your activities. So yeah, it's pretty subjective here in terms of battery life. Last but not least, a very, very important point here is how this UI works. Alright, so let me show you how this works. When you scroll up, this is where you get your list of applications, and you can go all the way to the bottom here to find all your apps within that list itself. So the same goes when you go scroll up or down. It's just a loop. So the same thing goes for the side from left to right as well. So if you go from left to right, this is where you get all your quick widgets where you can have a quick glance at all the information from here. So if you just go from left to right, again, it is a loop of all these widgets that you have in the band itself. So right and left is the same on this Mi Band 6 right here. Okay, so on the Huawei Band 6, how it works is a little bit different. It works more similar to how your smartphone works. So what I mean by that is when you drag down from the top, this is where you get a list of quick shortcuts which are very useful and helpful to me. When you scroll upwards, this is where you get your notifications, and it's very easy. You can just tap into it like that, just like how you would do on your smartphone itself. So moving from left to right, this is where you get your widgets, where you can see quick glance of your stress, your heart rate and all that very easily on the band itself. And when you want to go into the main list of apps, this is where you click the button that's on the right and you can scroll through your applications. So personally, I feel that the one on the Huawei Band 6 makes more sense because it is just easier to navigate compared to the Mi Band 6 right here. Alright guys, this is time for the conclusion. Which one should you buy? This is actually a pretty easy answer for me. In my opinion, if you're coming from a Mi Band 3, Mi Band 4 or Mi Band 5, you would definitely want to check out the Mi Band 6 right here because you're already very familiar with how this works. Obviously, you have the Mi Fit app as well and you will be very familiar with it. So the Mi Band 6 here is a very, very good upgrade for whoever that's coming from a Mi Band itself. But for those of you who have that additional budget, you might actually want to try being a bit more exploring and try out the Huawei Band 6 right here because it actually offers a whole lot more stuff compared to the Mi Band 6. And what I mean by that is obviously the larger display, the ability to save more watch phases, easier to read notifications. Of course, it does have the additional number of sport modes, which I don't really care, but it also comes with a more comfortable strap here at the back. So there's a lot going for the Huawei Band 6 right here, especially that larger display, which to me alone is quite a main thing there. Alright guys, that's pretty much it between the Mi Band 6 and the Huawei Band 6. If you like this video, do give me the thumbs up. If you have any questions, let me know down below, and hopefully you've learned something from this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Okay, bye.